and it's very important that parents know how to handle the situation. So I'm going to start with you, Binabo, on these, especially with the fact that parents also have very vital, important role to play in their children's lives, not just teachers.
Thank you, Bukola. I know that a lot of parents, let me not say I'm not in their mind, but what I see is what I'm drawing my conclusions from. And that is, a lot of parents believe that, this child should go and learn all of this in school. So when a child wants to know some things, he's like, I think they teach you in your school. Are you getting it? So the bottom line is, please don't abdicate your responsibility as a parent to the school, whether you're the school teacher or the school generally. Don't believe that A, B, C, D, and so that your child will go and learn about it in the school. It's not everything. Academics, yes, but there's some things that should be learned from home. Because you are the first teacher to this child. So that you missed it at the early stage doesn't mean you cannot catch up. Okay. Are you getting it? And if you don't understand it, you can ask those who have been there. You can, you can draw ideas from different people, then do your own conclusion, and then at the end of the day, just have a peaceful life with your children. Because we don't understand that every stage of a child's growth has its special needs. Like if a child, of course, a toddler, toddlers are always very and everything. Then they get to a point where they get into primary school. It's a new ball game. After primary, they get into secondary school. In secondary school, we have the junior secondary and the senior secondary. So at these various stages, they come in contact with some things that could be like a hitch or something that is not clear to them, and it does not want to explain it, properly to them. They get information from somewhere else, and then you don't know who is feeding them. So you need to create time for your children. I mean, even if it is, be deliberate about it. Yes, you are busy. Yes, you are going everywhere. Am I not going up and down for their welfare, well-being, and everything? Fine. Look at the house. My children live comfortably. Life is not about bread and butter. There is more to life than eating well and living in a posh house. There are things that posh house, good food do not address. So we need to be deliberate about whatever we want to do with our children. Adequate information so that they don't get it elsewhere, and then they run into trouble. And you now start shouting, I've done my best, No. At what point did you stop being a parent? You should understand it. Parents stop being parents and the child becomes a teenager. And then, as much as you see some boys, like I have a son who is daddy, wants more daddy. You understand? So when you at what really matured, even as a married man, as a married woman, once in a while if they come to you for advice, I mean, be open, yet be very blunt. You understand? So parents should be parenting. Parenting is one job that you don't retire from until you are dead. Finally. So once you have that mindset and you are very interested, whenever your child needs your attention, please, if you are very, very busy at that point, give a time. Okay, give me 1 hour, and let your 1 hour be 1 hour, and then you give full attention. If 30 minutes is all you have, give the whole of the 30 minutes and make it worth the while. Make it, worth it. So parents should be parents, please. A lot of times some parents leave the younger ones to their older siblings to take care of.
So the older siblings now go up to, or they are the adults that take care of the young one.
It's only that. How much does that older sibling know? He would impart on his younger one. So please, let's be parents. The country is not funny. Economy is biting. Like someone was telling me about the price of tomato, and I was like, hey.
Yeah, I went to the market. So it was like they were counting the tomatoes for me. They just counted 10 pieces. And now say take 500. I said, at that point where you're wondering that, is it this bad? Probably is it a while I came to the market, what's happening? But then that's the reality of what we have found ourselves in. Yes, Vicky, you relate to a lot of young people, and you're a parent, and I'm sure you relate to other parents as well. But a situation where parents don't have enough time for their children and they don't even get happening in their lives. And the reason why we're talking about this is the case of sodomy that happened to a child. And most of the time, it's always, oh, daddy probably is a business type that is always traveling. And mommy is probably a business person that went out, or she's working, she has to make ends meet and all of that. So what mommy is concerned about is, hope you have eaten, you are not sick. So long as you are not sick, you have eaten, everything should go on with life. But then there might be some, some situations, some touching moments that the child needs advice on. It could be what the child is going through in school. It could be what the child saw somewhere on the internet. Just trying to get a valid information from. Apparently, if you have a parent who is responsible for whatever judgment that the parents give, which is very important that this has to be instilled in young children before they become adults.
Yeah, thank you, Vicky. Let's look at what Bowman calls parenting. He says either parenting or child rearing is the process of promoting and supporting the physical, emotional, social, and intellectual development of a child from infancy to adulthood. He says it refers to the intricacies, I want us to note that, of raising a child, and it is not exclusive to just a biological relationship. Now, then I also want to support it from another angle. Then I can wrap it up with your question. God in his infinite mercy knows that he cannot come down physically in body form to raise the people. So he has set up a system, and the system is a cycle. The parent will mentor and train the children. The children obviously at some point will become parents, and the cycle continues and continues like that. And we all know that children are actually gifts from God. But this is the key word I want you to understand, whoever is listening to me. You are trustees. God trusted you that you can nurture these children in the way he will have done it. So at times, yes, we understand the economic issues, that surround the system now, but then you cannot shelve your responsibility, because mind you, whatever you see in your child today, it is as a result of what you have planted. That's the truth, either you like it or not. So if you have devoted time and you have nurtured them rightly, what you will see today, you will be happy. But if there are one or two issues, think back. You must have neglected something in the life of the children. And like Ibn Abbas said, truly for every stage they need the parents. They need the parent. Even me, that I am here, even with my age, there are some times that I will say, oh, how I wish my mom was around. I will have asked my mom this. You understand? So God has put that there, that for every stage you need, it's just that you need more time, and it's like the foundation. When you have the child, you have the toddler, you have the child, you have the teenager, that is when you are building the structures, and then of course adulthood. So when you have done your job properly, when they are adults, it's an issue of, can we discuss about this? Like now, I'm enjoying it. It's not that. Well, I thank God. There's still some little cracks. But then you just come up and say, okay, let's talk about it. So for me and my children were in an age of, okay, can we talk about it? It's not an issue of we must do it this way, because they're adults, they're young adults. But if you had done that when they were young, you had imputed the right things, you have spent time with them. Because for me now is an issue of where is the time, but you have to deliberate and intentionally create that time. I don't know how we are going to do it. The father must create time, the mother must create time. It must be balanced. It cannot be tilted. That's the truth. All of you must sit down and work it out. Even if you say, okay, I'm here, the mother, I'm here with you from Monday to Friday. Okay, daddy,
Saturday and Sunday, you must sit down with your children. You must really, really parent them. Parent them is not just buy things for them, but see to their emotional needs, see to their social needs, even their character, the values, what you want to see in them later on. This is the time for you to plant it now. So parenting is really, really serious, and I believe we must take it serious in Nigeria. We're not taking it serious, and it's rubbing on us. Truly, most of the leaders that we are talking about today, go back. It's a fault of parents. So if we want to change it in the near future, let's take this parenting serious. Let's find time for our children. And like Ibinabo said, I'm also supporting it. If you do not know how to parent in this 21st century, go and learn it. Read it up. There are many schools that are doing it. There are many NGOs that are coming up with parenting tools, because this is the 21st century. Because what you don't teach them, social media will teach. Internet will teach.
There's no vacuum.
There's no vacuum. You understand? So it is better you fill your children now, fill it to the brim of your values, so that even when somebody is coming with something, the child will say, there's no space in my bucket. My mommy and my daddy has filled the bucket already, and I'm okay with this. It's only when you have give them trash, because at a point in time, the children will know that, my parents were not there for me. And then, they will now see a model. I think it was you that mentioned it sometimes, that somebody said, was it you? Oh, okay, no, it was the lady I was talking about. She's in Abuja. Okay, thank God for that. She just called me and she was lamenting that, I understand what you are talking about, the youth, so that it has affected her. Our child went to a particular school. She didn't mention it, and I also did not even want to know it. You understand? Because I'll be biased. You understand? And that it was because she had been pumping her children. The children have been asking her questions, and then she's been transparent to them that these are my failures and all that. That in terms of doing it well, so it helped the child. So she was now telling me that a particular Sunday, a child came to meet her in church and said, "Mommy, I want you to be my mother." When the mother of the child, the mother was castigating the child at home, beating her. Meanwhile, at the end of the day, we found out that the mother was actually in an illicit relationship. You understand?
I'm sorry to come back to something that you said.
Okay, yeah.
But let's open the phone lines. 07000 917 is the studio line to call. Send a WhatsApp or a text message 070 and you can also dial 090 256 25455. Let's get your contribution this afternoon on one issue of parenting. And Ibinabo and Buki have raised a very valid point. Whereas Ibinabo, Buki mentioned something on the part of parents being what's that word now?
Trustees.
Not vulnerable. There was a particular word she used that has skipped my mind. But like being open, being transparent to their children.
Oh yeah.
Most of the time it's like, I'm your mom, I'm your dad, I cannot tell you some things. Yes, apparently my parents should not be telling me some things I'm not supposed to be bothered about, because I don't have to be dealing with that at that stage, because they're dealing with it at this stage as an adult. Hello, good afternoon. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies. This is coming from you.
Welcome to Panorama.
Yeah, good afternoon. I don't want to call before, but because of it's about to be, that's why I have to let me come.
Yes, go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah. Like what Bookie has said, she has said a lot. Like we the parents, God has given us these children to be a critical to God, that critical son. You are someone who is parents. On that day of judgment, God is going to judge each and every one of us. How do we bring our children up? Because of these children, some of us, may God help us, we will not even see this kingdom of God because the way we bring our children up. Especially parents that have, maybe they are looking for a child, they are looking for a boy child, maybe they have 2 years and they are not looking for a girl, or they don't have any child at all. Unfortunately, that baby now came, they will come out that baby, they will spoil that baby as if it's not God that gave. So whether we have only one child, we So we should make sure that we train the children up in the way of the Lord, especially our teenagers. Our eyes should not go off our teenagers because by the time they get to teenage age and see, in fact, that it is something else. God will help us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution. So now, even about, I was talking about the part of parents being transparent. You know, sometimes it's like I'm a parent and that is it. You don't have to question me on some of these things. Or as a parent, for you to probably discuss with your child some things that you must have experienced or some things that you must have passed through as a parent, just to be like an example for the child. Marriage, I probably experienced it while growing up. Is it actually a crime for you, or not like it's a crime? Is it right for you to share some of these experiences with your children just to help them?
I support it. You know why? Because sometimes children, even if they don't ask you, they are curious. What was your life like? Then, if you tell your child about your past, of course, even to your closest friends, even to your spouse, there's some things even that hurts you so bad. You want to tell somebody else so that the person will not share your heart and everything. But then when it's, and that really helped a lot from their testimonies to me. I told them about, the secondary school I attended, this ajaboti kind of thing that, you don't know what happens in their homes. When after the teacher must have finished teaching us and would want to know who didn't understand what, everybody would say they understood. So me, wasn't all I would say, I'll ask, but it got to a point where it was like,
You missed it.
exactly. So it made it easier for me. What was I trying to teach them? Head of the class, since you have the scheme of work, study this thing at home. So when you get to school, the point where you had issues, by the time the teacher is explaining it, it will not become clear. So you become the master of it. And that was how they grabbed it. You understand? So they will tell me, mommy, that idea is very happy. I said, okay, thank God, at least this thing has, helped. And so many other things. You let them know, like if you're a girl, you let them know that, yes, sometimes it doesn't mean you're going to now meet him and, it's something that you have gone through.
Such conversations, parents tend to shy away from it. Or when their child experiences, they don't want their parents because of previous experiences that they've had with their parents. And the fact that my parents are not even that welcoming for me to be able to talk about something as but for them it's like it's a big thing that I'm questioning per time about this person and all of that. And sometimes if parents don't do the right, don't start going the wrong way.
Absolutely. I mean, when we to youths on this issue of crush and all that, yes, we let them know that it's normal. But for a parent, they need you at that time because they have trusted you over the years as a toddler, as a child, as a preteen. So they still expect you to continue in that light, not rebuke them because sometimes you now change. No,
you're now an adult.
Exactly.
Better.
Exactly. But that is the time they even need you more because you can now you can reflect on what happened to you in the past, narrate it to them, tell them. I mean, if you had it good, tell them the result. If you really had it bad, tell them the effect
Of the bad.
And that you do not want them to go through that.
And you'd have done it this way.
Exactly, and you'll have done it this way. That is part of parenting. So it's not an issue of, hey, why? No, blah, blah, blah. No. Let them know.
Are you painting a perfect
exactly. That you were not. You understand? But let them know that, okay, it happens like you will corrupt them. But if the values are good, yes, they can see through it. But why must you let people do your own responsibility? That is what they call parents. Not that I'm buying things for you. Be there emotionally and spiritually and physically. Everything. Be there for them. Just be there.
She told me growing up that she lost her father. So the mom she couldn't go to secondary school and all that. So now today she's a big businesswoman. Her husband is doing well. I don't know their pocket, but at least for what we see, they're not doing badly. So she said one day our eldest child now told her that, mommy, cannot even speak good English, or you be insisting on do your homework, do this. That I was the if your mom was on you like that, you should have been a professor today. She said being hit her, it was like a trailer hit her. So she said, don't worry, she said, but she didn't know what to say
at that point.
She pulled herself together. Then she now called her children. The next day, not that moment.
She was able to manage her emotions.
She now gave them the story of her life. How she could not go to school because she lost her dad. And you know how it was not easy then. So she said at the end of the day, she had to work as a house help from family to family to help her mom. So she couldn't go to school.
So more like I'm actually doing all of this.
Yes. So when she said by the time she was done telling her children the story, they were all tearing. They cried. Mommy, don't. Yes. So when she said by the time she was done telling her children the story, they were all tearing. They cried. Mommy, don't worry. What you could not do, we will do better.
And now it channels their energy the right way.
Yes.
Exactly. So more like mommy couldn't do this, mommy couldn't attain this. Then yes, for us to make mommy proud, we actually have to do this.
There's a difference between that and making your child live the life you couldn't live. Okay, it's a huge difference. Because some people will say, because you could not be this, is that why you should force me? No. Because we really discussed what she was trying to tell them, and it helped, was that look, I would have loved to be this, but I could not because there was no funds. So now that you have the opportunity, so take it. Don't waste the opportunity. But she will never. I always tell parents, don't ever impose a particular course or subject on your children. Don't. Encourage them that education is important. It is the best thing you can give to yourself. But don't impose, okay, you must be a doctor, you must be a lawyer, you must be this. No. But take them through.
Sorry to cut you, because I know Bukola will come and tell us about that. But I don't want to hit this. Okay. In fact, as a good parent, if you are very observant, from the early ages, you will have known the tendency where that child is leaning to. If you are very observant. You understand? Very, very observant. And then, you like to know his likes. And then when he begins to think about a particular course, about a particular profession, they might not really understand it, but then they are saying, hey, what do they do and all that? And then, he picks books that are of interest. That should tell you where God wants him to be. You understand? At an early age, the person is writing. Somewhere along the line, this will be somewhere a journalist or a writer or something, or a publisher or something, or somebody who likes to just, particularly boys, they like to open something, open this, open that, destroy. You might say it's destroy. But they're curiosity. They want to know, why is this car running? Why is this thing running? You can channel their energy. But at least you will have an idea that this is for somebody who loves to be creative, just be painting and all that, and then now he now wants to choose a course, and then you now say he must be a doctor. From where? You understand? It does not or by the time they are doing in their junior secondary school, you'll see that effortlessly, in terms of their art subjects, they are making it and all that, and then you now say, okay, you have to choose biology. My dear parents, please, have a conversation and be observant and dialogue with them. Let them choose the one that they will make an impact, because at the end of the day, it's the impact we want on the society.
Thank you, Buki. Let me quickly add this. You see, I like the part that you said conversation. You know why? Now, I have a friend, a senior friend of mine, who's, according to her, then her son, like you said, was always on tools, on schooling and doing this and that. So naturally, the parents felt he would love to be an engineer. Are you getting it? So they started preparing their mind, and the boy's mindset towards engineering, go and study. But when the boy got to secondary school, he took interest in other subjects and sciences. That was where the problem started. Oh, he had derailed. Oh, he has deviated from his natural kiniko. You see, at the end of the day, this boy went to the university and studied a particular aspect of engineering, and he's not working with it. Do you know what he's doing today? He's a fashion designer.
Absolutely.
Are you getting it?
So sometimes growing up for children.
Yes, creativity. A child could be creative. A child could be inquisitive. A child could be messing around with your tools on your some of your.
It might even be what daddy has been doing or what mommy has been doing that the child is looking at.
Yeah. Or
practicing
his hands. You understand? Things that he will do with his hands. It does not necessarily mean that this boy will always go to the TV and on school, he will do this and that. Doesn't mean he wants to be an engineer. Just be patient and guide and
be observant.
Yes.
Because children, they actually imitate what they see.
Yes. So it's possible. Most time.
All of the time. All of the time. So it's possible, they are seeing somebody open this and they are restless. So but observation
and then
curiosity and conversation. Conversation you will get to know. And for those who take God seriously, honestly, like my pastor will say that from the womb you will begin to ask God, what is the destiny of this child, what profession, So for those who want to take that part, which I also embrace, begin to ask God so that you will lead the child properly.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in, ladies. But even about your final words in 30 seconds.
Okay. In 30 seconds. Okay, what do I say? I just want to admonish parents to be parents. Go and know and understand the meaning of being a parent. Parenting is not all about impregnating a lady. Then leaving all the responsibilities to the lady.
Okay.
Because now this child will grow up and bear your name. So what's your input? Because you're paying school fees? Because you have an apartment that you have put them or what? Or because you put food on the table? What happens when they can afford all of these things you are giving them? Then where is your value? Where is your usefulness? That is in later years. So there must be more to giving them good education, to giving them shelter and buying them clothes and giving them gifts. There must be more as a father to a child. So search your mind. What would you want when your child is grown and he has everything or she has everything that even more than you gave? There has to be a relationship. There has to be something about your child that wants to see you, wants to talk to you. Even when I have a friend, this girl phones her parents almost every day. Are you getting it? No, she's an adult, she's responsible, she has a business she's doing abroad. But then you see there's this code that's the bond. She couldn't blow out of it. It is still there. So that is what parents should look forward to. Most times men will say, I'm the one paying school fees, I'm the one doing this. When it is time for Omugo, it is you that will go. We're talking to the wife now. When it is this, it is you that will go. No. Start the relationship with that child now. There is nothing. A man I used to know when we were in school those days. We were chatting, and he said that do you know where I am? I said, where are you?
I'm with my son.
Yes. He said his son just had a baby and I said, it's a relationship. He said the boy wanted him to come, and the boy had sold that idea to the wife. So when they had the baby, they invited the daddy, but not now to look like Ojoro people. They now brought in the mom too. So I wouldn't know the kind of relationship he built with his children that is now benefiting from today. So let us do it excuse. Build that good relationship with your children. It will always be there. They would look for you when the time is right. They would look for you.
Thank you very much, Ibinabo. Yes, Buki.
Yes, I want to talk on the people that they might be hearing now and they're saying, "Oh, I have failed. I did not do it at the right time." Well, like, is it the Chinese or Japanese that say the best time to plant a tree is yesterday, and then the next best time is today. So what you can actually do is, even if they are old and whatever, and you have identified the gaps, just go and tell them that you're sorry. There's nothing wrong in apologizing that, oh, I was not there for you. I am so sorry about this. But you know what? Let's make it good for ourselves. So, and then you fill in the gap. That might not be easy, but with time. Yes. You get to that point.
Yeah, that's it. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for coming in, ladies. And I think this is the parents who are listening to us right now. And I say kudos to every parent. So long as you have found yourself in this generation and you are a parent, it's a whole lot. And we just hope that with time you'll be able to deal with us and we'll be able to learn how to deal with you too. So there is a cordial relationship between both parties. So it's not, this other party is here, the other party is on a separate direction entirely.
Going north and south.
Yes, going north and south. But it's a pleasure to know that there are parents out there who are doing very well. As a parent, you don't have to feel too bad, but then try to make things right if you feel you have not really done so well. But thank you to the producer Daniel Adaja and the engineer behind scene engineer Shego. I am Bukola Balogun. Please stay safe and do enjoy the rest of your day.
To sponsor this program, please call 080-9058-2769.
DJ play that happy music. Make the play that happy music. Make the baby happy music. Yes, make the people sing.